financial problems, elder law, criminal law, tax problems, business matters, divorce, personal injury, bankruptcy, your life, your reality. Life is complicated. There is the law and there is reality. Welcome to Law and Reality, sponsored by THAV GROSS. Now here's your host, Ken Gross.
Welcome to this segment of Law and Reality. Today's topic is, Billy said, I don't need an estate plan.
I heard that twice yesterday from clients.
Were they both named Billy?
No, but we laid it all out, set it all up. I've done this a lot of years, and they go, oh, we talked to my girlfriend, and she says you don't need all that stuff. Or to talk to the banker, oh, you don't need all that stuff.
What about Jerry the bartender, him too?
Jerry's pretty freaking smart. He usually says, listen to Pat.
Call Pat and get an estate plan.
Yeah, but the financial guy, you don't need that. We can just put it like this.
Pat Zemeska, good morning.
Thank you. Good morning. Good
Brian
morning.
Small.
You touched a nerve on that one,
I did.
Ken.
Jeffrey Kirshner.
In life, plan for the unexpected.
Hope
There
for
you
the
go.
best.
Always,
plan
the
for
unexpected
worst.
always happens, and just got to be prepared.
Too true is
Always
what I'd
happens.
say, because the unexpected is usually not positive. It's usually on the negative side.
You know, it was funny. Yesterday I was in a meeting, and it was a health insurance guy and a life insurance guy. And
Oh, it's a party.
and he was talking about, the life insurance guy was talking about long-term care insurance. And he was talking about the need for an estate plan, which was great. And then he went on and on about needing long-term care insurance because, you know, while you always talk about how 33% of us are going to end up in a nursing home, he's like 65% of us are going to need some sort of in-home care. And then he's going on about that. And then you got to make sure you have the right estate plan in place because the government will take it all. And that's probably a key
Didn't
factor
anyone
here.
bring up the need for disability insurance in the middle of that conversation?
What? Oh, there was a whole conversation. It was insurance.
I mean, when you get the insurance guys together-
Smorgasbord.
I mean, there is a need to insure against casualties, and you know, that's, you know, so it's hard to challenge that. And going back to what you just said, Jeffrey, is, you know, the unexpected. You can also make the argument of saying, is there anyone here who can honestly say that you can't expect to die at some point in time in your life?
I'm going to tell you
you're
right
going to
now,
die.
You're going to die.
Dying's never a problem.
Living.
Dying is never a problem. It's everything leading up to it. And everybody's plan is this: I'm never going to the nursing home. That's
I'm not
their
going.
plan. That's their whole plan.
Are you going?
I'm never going in.
What?
No one wants to
Oh,
go.
I'm not going.
No,
Everyone's
no,
not.
no, no.
Every nursing home is full of people that are never going to the nursing home.
Of course.
Absolutely.
Last
But-
September, after my car accident, I was picking my nursing home.
But
for
the nursing
rehab.
At
home-
least you knew the one to pick.
And I absolutely did.
But
I
let's
absolutely
be
did.
honest, from a financial standpoint, getting into the nursing home, when you're there, there's all sorts of things you can do to protect that estate.
Yeah.
It's the getting there part that's eating up the money.
Well, that's the thing. When you have, like, Medicaid pays for nursing home care but doesn't pay for in-home care or assisted living. They say they do, but absolutely they don't. It's next to impossible. So you got to plan for that.
Yeah, it's tough. All right, let's do some case examples. So I've got one. William, who is Billy, is age 60. 2 kids, Ron 38, Bob 36. William is a painter and a paint contractor, William Painting and Refinishing LLC. He has 2 other crews. One he manages, one's managed by Bob, one's managed by Ron, his 2 kids. They've been in business 30 years. They do $2 million a year. Sizable business. He just got married last year to Julia, age 45. Has a house in Royal Oak, market value, $500,000.
I'm going to call BS because Julie is probably 27.
I'm being politically correct, and Julia is age 45, but she looks 27.
There you go.
Because when you're 60, every 47-year-old looks
You're right.
27. Mortgage, $200,000. Savings, he's got $400,000 in savings. IRS, he owes him $75,000. Here's what happens. Billy gets sick suddenly. Julia is panicked. Oh my God, what if Billy dies? Billy goes and quit claims the deed to the house to him and Julia as tenancy by the entireties. Says, don't worry, honey, you're protected on the house. He adds Julia's name to all the savings accounts as a joint tenant with right of survivorship. Billy assigns his member interest in the company to Julia as Billy and Julia as tenancy by the entireties.
Gosh, if
No, I'm
Julia,
gonna tell you
if
what
Julia
really
outlives
happened.
if Julia outlives Billy, she just won the lotto.
Yeah, that's really what
Well,
happened.
Billy's sick.
I
Were you
understand.
paying attention?
I know.
Billy
He doesn't
had-
tell Ron or Bob anything about this. So what happens?
Well, let me tell you what really happened. He goes, honey, I want to protect you, but when you die, I want it all to go to my kids.
and she
right?
says, of course,
Oh,
honey.
but now he's had a stroke and he doesn't know what's going on. So he dies, it goes to her, and now who does she marry? The 27-year-old pool boy. And
Correct.
it's going to that side.
All right,
of things.
but staying here, staying a little bit on track with the outline that is sitting there in front of you, Pat, is Billy dies. He did have this
It
conversation.
goes to her.
But just like you said, he had
Right.
the conversation with Julia, and she says, if something happens to me, I want to make sure you understand you protect my boys.
Yeah.
It's their company.
No.
Oh, of course, honey, I understand.
no.
He dies.
Right.
House goes to
Her.
Julia. Savings goes to,
Her.
and the company goes to.
Her.
Julia.
What about Ron and Bob?
What about Ron and Bob?
They're
SOL.
on unemployment.
They now
They're
work.
getting the
SOL.
COVID unemployment check, and
They-
they're getting the
they work
forbearance
for,
agreement.
They work for Julia.
No, because she fired him.
He's further down the road.
Here's the one thing that Ron and Bob have going for them. As long as they didn't sign a covenant not to compete when they were working for their father, they can at least form their own company and go and get all the clients that they had and establish their own company and compete with Julia.
The reality is this. Every second marriage, even if they've been married for 30 years, when dad dies, it goes to mom. When she dies, it's going to her kids.
All right, we're going to take a break, and I want you to tell us when we come back what is the correct way of resolving that problem.
Carrying too much debt? Resolve your debt. Call THAV GROSS.
You don't need to be broke, and you don't need to hit rock bottom. If you have income and you're struggling with debt, dump it. Think about the next 10 or 20 years. If you do what the banks tell you, you'll have nothing to retire with. There is a solution.
Don't waste your future. Call THAV GROSS. We're experts at eliminating credit card debt. 888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP. Is the debt piling up? Struggling to get by?
It's all about preserving future income. Bankruptcy is one option. When it's right, it's the least costly, most effective way to save your home, eliminate a second mortgage, and wipe out credit card debt. But you need to address the problem now.
We help people with bankruptcy. Call the experts.
We're THAV Gross. Our firm will solve your problem.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
A lifetime of hard work. If you don't have the right plan in place, you can lose your home, your savings, and more. And you didn't come this far to lose everything. Samasco Law wants you to know that laws are changing. Today, the average cost of nursing home care is $85,000 a year. With proper planning, we can help protect your life savings and get you the Medicaid and nursing home benefits you deserve.
How much can you afford to lose? Call Samasco Law today.
Tax problems are major problems. Don't let the IRS levy your wages and seize your assets. There is a solution.
We're THAV Gross. Our firm will solve your problem.
If you're behind on your taxes and owe money to the IRS, call THAV GROSS.
We've been solving tax problems for 32 years. We stop wage levies, resolve unfiled returns, and obtain the best possible settlements.
Call THAV GROSS today, 888-235-HELP. You can't work. You have to deal with pain and stress. Worse yet, our system for applying for disability benefits seeks to deny you the benefits you're entitled. Jeff Kirschner is an expert in obtaining disability and workers' compensation benefits for his clients. You need to call Jeff before you apply or after you're denied to get the benefits you deserve. 888-235-HELP. 888-235-HELP. If you're retired and in a financial crisis, there is a way out.
It pains me when I see a retired couple exhaust their savings by paying credit card bills and for a home hopelessly underwater.
THAV GROSS specializes in helping retired people in financial crisis.
You just can't keep paying until you're broke. You need to address the problem now.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
We're THAV GROSS. Our firm will solve your problem.
All right, so we're back. So Billy did everything wrong. He wanted to help and take care of Julia. That's not necessarily a bad thing, but how should he have done it to still protect his kids?
Well, that's it. You want to protect your spouse, but you also want to protect your kids. So what you have to do is set up your own personal trust. If she's the beneficiary on the stuff, she gets it. It's hers. On the life insurance or the 401k or the health, it's hers. She can do whatever she wants. People think my will says, well, it goes to her, then it goes to my kids. It doesn't work that way. It goes to her, and she puts her own beneficiaries down who will be her own kids.
The pool boy.
Or the pool boy. He needs to do a trust agreement for himself that says, my wife is the beneficiary, she gets the income, she gets the principal if she needs it, she gets to live in the house, she can move the pool boy in, but when she dies, it goes to my kids.
You know,
she can't take all the money from the principal and give it to the pool boy.
But the question about that is okay, so you've got the wife, you've got your own trust, there's the money available, she gets the income off of it, she gets the principal if she needs to invade it, but who's monitoring that? Well, that's the problem, because I needed the principal. I needed that.
She can be the trustee,
we
but
have
you
that
can have
case
someone else
right
as the
now.
trustee.
Well, you could put another person down as a trustee. You could put her. The idea is that if you put his kid down, well, she doesn't need anything.
Right.
If you put her down, I need everything.
But it could be us. It could be you. It could be the attorney.
It can be, but the idea is that it can be the court that can monitor. If there's a problem, the court can come in and say, that's too far. So if you put your son down to be the trustee over her, then you have some type of a checks and balances. But really what the idea is, hey, we want you to live off of it. We love you. We want to take care of you. But when you die, we don't want it to go to your kids.
And
we have our own
the other factor is this. When Billy hits that, oh my God, you're diagnosed and you've got cancer or you're real ill, he's not thinking clearly. He's in panic mode. Julia's in panic mode because she's only worried about herself, and he's making irrational decisions. In the facts that I gave you, there was ample opportunity to provide for Julia and to protect the kids on a current basis. No way should she have been in control of the company.
Yeah, they don't know. See, everyone doesn't understand the rules. The will says I want it to go to my wife, and then when she dies, it goes to my kids. They think that will controls. It has no bearing on anything because she's listed on the house, she's listed on the bank account, she's listed on the life will. And then it's hers at that point.
But not just that, she can do a couple things here. It's to her, and when she goes, it goes to the kids. Well, but she could take the property and sell it.
Oh, yeah.
And she could do anything else. So
she'd sell the company.
The best thing that happened to her after a one-year marriage with this young lady is he died. Because what if he didn't die? Now he's in the nursing home for the next 17 years.
She loved him.
Oh, of course she did. And she probably did. But she loves her kids more than his.
But she was also very thankful for the fact that he left her everything.
But get back to the part where Billy doesn't need an estate plan. Just for the singular fact that, talk about real estate alone, okay? Well, this is where, yes, he put the house into their name together as tenancy by the entireties. If he hadn't gotten around to that, then he dies. Probate. The house goes through probate. Mm-hmm. It still likely goes to her. I mean, she's entitled to a spousal elected share.
It's a toolbox. Everything we're talking about is a toolbox. You need the right tool, so our toolbox is medical power, financial power.
But don't you always want to avoid probate as best as you can. You want it laid out because you never want a situation where you have to go to court, where people now have to litigate issues, where you actually have, instead of your own desires as to where things go, now it's up to the court to maybe make decisions that you wouldn't have made.
Well, that's the point that Brian is saying, is that if you don't create your own estate plan, the law gives you the estate plan. And the estate plan says the majority goes to your spouse, even if you've been married for 1 week.
And then avoiding probate is the good goal, but sometimes probate would at least be there to be a measure of protection. So, had the estate plan been created and had Rob been a co-trustee with Julia and they didn't get along, the probate court would have at least been able to decide what support Julia should get and what support she shouldn't. It wouldn't be Julia getting everything.
You made an interesting comment. You said he had enough time. He had plenty of time to do this. No one plans for the unexpected. And that's why it's so important now, when you don't know what the unexpected is, to go ahead and talk to Pat, to get the estate plan made before stuff happens.
I see something coming. We have a new line here. No one plans for the unexpected. This line is taking out your old line, which was...
It's individual for the individual.
Yeah.
Do you have a line that you want to introduce?
Yeah, 1-800, call Pat.
All right, next case
When
scenario.
do you have to plan by? When do you have to get it done by?
Before you die.
Before you die.
Before you die.
When are you going to die?
Who the hell knows? Who the hell knows?
The missing deed. Here's the next one.
Oh, boy.
Office building owned by a doctor. He goes to sell the practice in the building. Title company comes back and says, the doctor acquired this property from ABC LLC several years ago on a land contract. Or an ABC acquired the property by a land contract from John and Joan Smith and Jack and Jill Jones. Jack and Jill are both deceased. The title company says you need the deed.
Wait, sorry, just a second.
Up the hill?
They're not up the hill.
They're
under the hill.
You got it. The title company says you need the deed from Jack and Jill or their survivor to ABC LLC, otherwise you can't clear title. There was no estate created for Jack and Jill. The buyer wants to close. The doctor wants to sell. He's been, operating the practice all this time.
He's losing his interest rate. You're losing the buyer.
And all of a sudden, he's trying to find what does the doctor do in order to clear title?
Probate. Jack and whoever died last. Jack died first. It went to Jill. Jill died. He got a probate.
So you got to. All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back and explain a little bit more detail.
Tax problems are major problems. Don't let the IRS levy your wages and seize your assets. There is a solution.
We're THAV GROSS. Our firm will solve your problem.
If you're behind on your taxes and owe money to the IRS, call THAV GROSS.
We've been solving tax problems for 32 years. We stop wage levies, resolve unfiled returns, and obtain the best possible settlements.
Call THAV GROSS today, 888-235-HELP. If you're retired and in a financial crisis, there is a way out.
It pains me when I see a retired couple exhaust their savings by paying credit card bills and for a home hopelessly underwater.
THAV GROSS specializes in helping retired people in financial crisis.
You just can't keep paying until you're broke. You need to address the problem now.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
We're THAV GROSS. Our firm will solve your problem.
You can't work. You have to deal with pain and stress. Worse yet, our system for applying for disability benefits seeks to deny you the benefits you're entitled. Jeff Kirschner is an expert in obtaining disability and workers' compensation benefits for his clients. You need to call Jeff before you apply or after you're denied to get the benefits you deserve. 888-235-HELP. 888-235-HELP. Carrying too much debt? Resolve your debt. Call THAV GROSS.
You don't need to be broke, and you don't need to hit rock bottom. If you have income and you're struggling with debt, dump it. Think about the next 10 or 20 years. If you do what the banks tell you, you'll have nothing to retire with. There is a solution.
Don't waste your future. Call THAV GROSS. We're experts at eliminating credit card debt. 888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
Time for announcements. So I remind our viewers to listen to us for Law and Reality Live on the Praise Network, Tuesdays 10 o'clock a.m., Saturdays 7 a.m., and on KISS 105.9, Sundays 7 o'clock a.m. Seminars are back. Post-COVID live seminar. Our next one is coming up Wednesday, August 18th, 6 to 7:30 p.m. at our offices, addressing financial issues post-COVID. How to address debt so that you preserve your income for your future. You don't allow your future income to go to pay your debts of the past. Current status on loan forbearance and tenant evictions will be covered. Special segment on tax debt. Learn your available solutions to solving debt problems outside of bankruptcy, as well as your solutions using bankruptcy. Attendees get a free copy of my book, Dump Your Debt. Be sure and sign up, thavgross.com, lawandreality.com, or call us the old-fashioned way, 888-235-HELP. If you ever want to come in for a free consultation, and we still do them via teleconference or in office, post-COVID, pre-COVID, we'll do it any way you want to do it. The important thing is that you get the information you need. Debt issues with Brian, tax issues with Jeff Linden, estate planning issues with Brian and myself, business law issues with me, elder law issues with Pat, disability issues with Jeff, criminal law issues with Scott Weinberg. Just call us at 888-235-HELP or go on the website and sign up for a free consultation. Also, go to the website for free reports. You got Resolving Tax Problems, The Real Solutions by myself and Jeff Linden, How to Save Your Home from Foreclosure, Business Formations, Loans and Grants for Small Businesses in Detroit, and The Retiree's Guide to Social Security from Pat Simasko. Want to thank our sponsors, THAV GROSS, Simasko Law, Kirshner Law. Now back to the show.
I love you too. Bye-bye. That was Jerry. Emma just said her first word.
Oh.
Jerry says hello and they'll be over soon.
Who's Jerry? Is he a friend of yours?
No. This Jerry. Our Jerry. And this is his wife and their little girl.
Is the debt piling up? Struggling to get by?
It's all about preserving future income. Bankruptcy is one option. When it's right, it's the least costly, most effective way to save your home, eliminate a second mortgage, and wipe out credit card debt. But you need to address the problem now.
We help people with bankruptcy. Call the experts.
We're THAV GROSS. Our firm will solve your problem.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
COVID-19 presents a fight for our personal and business financial survival. You have to make choices. Cash is critical. Do you tap your retirement, home equity line, or run up the credit cards? You need the right plan to avoid being wiped out, and you need it now. You can't rely on the government or banks. Call us. We're the experts in financial crisis. We are here for you and your business in the Great Recession, and we're here for you now. We will create a plan and get through this together. THAV GROSS will solve your problem. All right, so the missing deed. So this deed is missing, so I'm representing the buyer, and the title company says you need to get this deed. So I go to the seller's attorney and say, you need to solve this problem. The seller says, well, can't you just get the title company to insure over it? Well, the answer is this. Even if the title company said yes, does that solve your problem? Mm-hmm. That would only solve the seller's problem. When you're the buyer, if your title policy insured over, but then when you go to sell, the next buyer's title company says, oh no, you need the deed, then you can't sell the property. So I said to the seller, no, you got to solve the problem. You got to do what? You got to open up a probate.
Probate. You're a claimant, and you have to go in and open up the probate of the last person. Whether it's
he's got to find Julia's kids.
Well,
or can you open the probate
you can open up Julia? You can open up as a creditor. You're a creditor. They owe you a deed. They owe you money. They owe you a deed. So you can go in as a creditor saying, hey, we need to probate. You still need to find the next of kin, or you publish it to the world. Whether it's the big doctor office or grandma's house that the grandkids been living in for 30 years. Now they go to, it's the exact same thing.
So what's the process? If you can't find the next of kin and the relative,
you have to publish it in the newspaper saying, hey, and there isn't any money typically because it's been paid off for years.
Right.
They just lost the deed or it never got recorded or we forgot or
so
we
you go
thought.
into, you file the petition in is it probate court.
Yeah.
So you're effectively, are you opening a probate for the person who never had their estate probated?
Yeah, you're asking for someone with authority to sign that deed. Mom died, dad died, no one can sign the deed. That's why trusts work, because if it's owned by the trust.
So who does the judge appoint for authority?
It'd probably be a public administrator to do it, like
and
a
then
court
does the public
appointed.
administrator have to do some investigation before he signs the deed?
Maybe.
So it's a process.
Yeah, it's not overnight for sure.
The point is, all of that is avoided. Well, first of all, it would have been avoided if when you buy on a land contract, rule number 1, you always make the seller put a deed in escrow with the title company so that when the contract is paid off, that deed can be released to you. So that was fatal mistake number 1.
Yeah, but that's supposed to happen when you sell a property. And
Nowadays.
usually you're selling it on those terms, you own it free and clear. Reality. Most people that enter into land contracts to sell their property still have a mortgage on it. They're violating the due on sale clause when they sell it under a land contract.
You still need a deed in escrow.
And they don't go through title companies. They do it off of a form off the internet, and that's what I see 99% of the time, and it just gets to be a mess.
So in that case, your buyer doesn't even know there's a mortgage on the property because they haven't gone through a title company.
Well,
it happens all the time.
Let me just sort of explain to the audience what we're talking about here. When you die and your name's on a house or a bank account, no one has authority to access that account because no one else is on the account, right? Dad died, he's the only one. So the probate court has to appoint somebody to be able to sign his name and sell the house or have access to the account. If you have a trust agreement, it's like a mini corporation. And while you're alive, Jeff is the president of his corporation. Now, if the president of the corporation dies, you don't see Lee Iacocca's, Chrysler going to get another president. That trust agreement picks the next president, which would be Brian, his favorite son.
So it keeps on going.
All he has to do is show the death certificate. So that's why trust agreements avoid probate. If you don't have anybody on the account, then you have to go to probate court that says, okay, Ken, you're in charge of signing the name.
So in this case, even if Jane, who ultimately had the property, if it was in a trust and her successor trustee could be located, you could do a trust deed to cure the title problem. So there's lots of ways this problem could be avoided, but when it's not, when none of those ways are pursued, you end up in this situation where you actually have to go in and open a probate estate.
Yeah,
and that's a pain. It's costly and it's a pain in the neck.
And who's going to pay for it? There isn't any money. There isn't any money.
Well, in this case, the seller's going to pay for it because because the buyer's offering to buy the office building. But on the grandma's home, there's no real money involved, and the house isn't worth a lot of money. All right. So the bottom line here is you do need an estate plan at the right time. Trust vehicles are where it's at, and when you don't do it, you're going to pay the consequences. It's always a pain in the neck in that situation. Have a great week. We'll be back next week with Law and Reality.